Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahawashi, that will honor to the elders, the apostles of the great millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect. Stash Math of the GMS Dallas camp. Just want to jump straight into it. This is Baruch chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of Yahawashi and the law that endureth forever. All that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. Alright, I brought that precept out, for firm understanding that this is the book of Yahawashi. Alright, this is the book of Yahawashi. It is written of him. Okay, all that keep it, which is the elect, the 144,000 and the 1/3 of the nation of Israel, which is going to come, looking like all the nations due to the fact that we were scattered. And whenever they come back unto Yahawashi and knowing who they are, they will come to life. But those that leave this word, that come in for a minute and dip out, are going to die therein, as they go about their own way. But in this, we find out and we know who our power is through the spirit and power of Yahawashi. So let's find out who Yahawashi is, and I'm gonna go to the prophecy in Isaiah of him coming and doing what he did whenever he was crucified. Alright, so Isaiah 53, I'm going to start at 1. It says, "Who hath believed our report, and whom is the arm of Yahawashi revealed?" Alright, it says, who hath believed our report? Only the elect, will believe in Yahawashi, because that takes faith. Alright, because we cannot see, him in the flesh, but we can understand who he is through the spirit. Alright, and it's the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. So, continuing on, verse 2, it says, "For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground. He hath not, he hath no form nor comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him." So he was going to be a plain man upon the earth. Alright, but in that, because at that time the nation of Israel was seeking for the king to come, was going to be a big brawly man, but Yahawashi came, meek. He showed us how to be meek. So continuing on, it says, he is despised and rejected of men, and a man of sorrows, and acquainted with grief, and we hid as it were our faces from him. So Yahawashi was looked down upon whenever he came down, to the earth. Everybody was looking at him in the cardinal, in the flesh, and not understanding who he is in the spirit, and only those that were chosen understood who he was as he was down here in the flesh. So that also means that that's the elect, of the elect nation, because Israel is the elect nation. Alright, so those that saw him as he was, and knew that this is, Yahawashi, King of Kings, which was his friends. His friends knew him, And as we are being in this world, in this society, getting into this scripture, understanding the book of Yahawashi, we are seeing him as he is also. Okay? I'm going to continue on. It says, and we esteemed him not. Verse 4, it says, surely he hath bore our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of Yahweh, stricken of Yahweh, and afflicted, because he was looked down upon. All right. Verse 5, it says, but he was wounded for our transgressions. Yahawashi was wounded for the transgressions of the elect. Not for the whole nation, but for the elect. Continuing on, he was bruised for our iniquity. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. Because he, that temple was tore down and built back up. Signified how the nation of Israel was going to go through that same ordeal, but it would be on a longer term scale. Also, but yeah, I'm going to go back to that Baruch. Baruch 4. I want to start at 2. It says, turn thee, O Jacob. And that's not talking about any other nation. That's talking about the nation of Israel. Right? It says, turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated. All right? And the only way that you can walk in the light, because Yahawashi is the light. He is the life. So we would have to walk in him. And that's why this book was comprised of him, from Genesis to Revelations, even with the Apocrypha. That's all talking about Yahawashi in full comeliness. All right, because he wasn't beautiful to look at upon this earth, but through the Spirit you understand who he is. That's the full understanding of him. All right. Continuing on, it says, give not thine honor to another. Give not this word to another. For one, they're not going to understand it anyway. All right. And for two, it wasn't meant for them. Okay. It says, nor the things that are pleasing unto thee to a strange nation. All right. So it's talking about everything. Really, it's talking about don't give a strange woman, your seed. Also, but that's a lesson for another day. Verse 4, it says, O Israel, happy are we, for things that are pleasing unto Yahweh are made known unto us. That's the point in that, because the things pleasing unto Yahawashi is made known to us through the Spirit and power of Yahawashi, which is in the scriptures. All right, so going back to that Isaiah 53. 1 second. Verse 4, it said, verse 5, it says, but he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquity, the chastisement of our peace was upon him. All right, and with his stripes we are healed, and that's talking about the nation of Israel, as we were reading in Baruch 4. All right, because no other nation can acquire this. No other nation can have the blessing. No other nation can be a part of this. So therefore, quit trying to lump them in. We had to go through captivity, time and time again, because of the things that we did against Yahawashi. All right, like it says in Ezekiel 23. All right, the whole nation of Israel went off and went doting about to their other lovers. You know, it's in that whole chapter, and it shows exactly who we are as a nation, how we went off as a nation. But now, through the spirit and power of Yahawashi, as it says right here in Isaiah 53, you know, because of him, so like I'll read 4 again. It says, surely, you know, he hath borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet, so like it was verse 5, it says, but he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquity, and so like the chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. So only the nation of Israel went through that. You know, we went off from that. Okay, but through Yahawashi we are being grafted back in. You know, continuing on, verse 6, it says, all we like sheep have gone astray, and have turned everyone to their own way, and Yahawashi has laid on him the iniquity of us all. And whenever it's talking about the iniquity of us all, it's going into the elect. Alright, it's going into the 144,000 and the 1/3. It wasn't the whole the whole nation. Alright, it was just that number that would have to go through the fire in these times. Alright, but I'm just gonna finish this up a little bit and jump back to Baruch, Lord's will. Verse 7, it says, he was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before the shears is dumb. It says, so he openeth not his mouth. All right, verse 8. He was taken from prison and from judgment, and who shall declare his generations? For he was cut off out of transgression of my people was he stricken. That's the point right there. Because through the spirit and power of Yahawashi, through him, you know, because he was stricken for our iniquity, because he was, you know, put on that put on the altar for us. You know, he has laid, you know, our sins in this time to not be seen by Yahweh. All right, so I'm gonna go back to Baruch 4 because there's a little bit more. I'm gonna drop down though. I'm gonna start at 25. It says, my children, suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you from Yahweh, because we had to go through all these captivities because we still went off. Even when Yahawashi came back and took upon all those pains for us, all right? Because even though he did that for the last age. But we had to still go through the rest of our captivities until we got to that last age, which is now. Okay? So I'm going to continue on. It says, for thine enemies have persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction and shall tread upon his neck. You know, because here in a little bit, Yahawashi is going to come back, and he's going to give the 144,000 that spiritual power. All right, and that little bit of our army is going to decimate. You know, it's going to decimate everything with Yahawashi. Okay, verse 26, it says, "My delicate ones have gone rough ways, and were taken away as a flock caught of the enemy." 27, "But be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto Yahweh by Shem Yahawashi, for ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you." All right, and the way that we have been remembered is through Yahawashi's sacrifice. Because if he didn't have that sacrifice, we would still be going through it. You know, we would be in those other nations' hands right now. Well, we are in those other nations' hands. I'm talking about for forever. They want us to stay on the bottom forever, because whenever we're on the bottom, they're on top. But whenever we're on top, they're going to be on the bottom forever. And that was promised, that was given unto us from our power, Yahweh Shem Yahawashi, you know, to smitten our enemies, which every other nation is our enemy. All right, we can't share the kingdom equally. There's no such thing as that. Christian doctrine is bullshit. All right, slack it for my speech, but with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh by Shem Yahawashi. Double honor to the elders and the apostles at Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.